What's up, guys? We're back at it. I am actually working outside today. I decided I want to take me a load of scrap out and get cleaned up around the place because we're getting quite cluttered around here. So we got the tractor here. I'm gonna push these engines out of the way, and we're gonna put this what's left of a parts truck on the gooseneck, and then start loading her down. See if we can get a load out within the next few hours. I think it's like 1 o'clock right now, and the scrapyard closes at 4. So a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. So let's see what we can get done. Got our engine shoved out of the way, got our chain hooked up. See if we can drag this thing out of here. Oh yeah. Got her picked up in the air, and I'm going to show you how we do this. Just like it. All right, guys, we're getting a decent little load together. I got her pulled around to the back side of the shop here. There's a few little things over here by this wall, and then the roof from the Super Duty project. We got to throw that on there, find a spot for it, but I managed to get all them doors on there without busting a single window. Pat on the back for that. And we got to find a day to get the old scrap trailer out of here too. I want to save the trailer though, so like that's the difficult part, because it can't dump, but it's full of scrap. But I don't want to scrap the whole thing because I don't want to have to go and buy another truck bed trailer just to use for a scrap trailer. And it makes it a pain to just throw all the scrap on the ground and then have to transfer it back onto the trailer whenever we're ready to clean up. So gonna have to get that hauled off next week because I need the room. Obviously we're overflowing on that thing. So I'm gonna get a few more of these pieces starting on this load, and then throw some straps on her and take off. Let's go. All right, guys, we're loaded down, strapped down, and we have made it to the scrapyard. And there is a freaking line to get on the scale. So we're gonna chill out here for a bit. If we get out to unstrap, I'll show you guys what we got. Let's go. See what the weight's gonna be. $17.9. Oh, maybe we'll make a decent little payment on this thing. Reloaded. Pretty neat up here. These things are cool, dude. There she goes. All right, we empty. Let's see what we weigh now. Just got paid, and we got paid a heck of a lot more than I thought we was gonna get. Check this out. $430, boys. 400. I'm tickled pink. We gotta get some more scrap together. Let's go. All right, guys, we're back in the shop. Look at what we have here. The frame has made it back from sandblast and powder coat for the 66 Ford F100 project. So we will be getting on this probably sometime this week, but we still have paint we're waiting on for the front and rear axle, and then we'll start rebuilding those and assembling those, and then we'll get this frame up on jack stands and start putting the suspension underneath it, start running the brake lines and the fuel lines and plumbing everything. I do need to order some wiring loom. There's a specific kind that I want to order on Amazon. It's like threaded. I don't know. It's not your average ribbed plastic wire loom that you go and buy in a roll at O'Reilly's. It's like threaded. But I want to get some of that wire loom to run the wiring down the frame rail. But for now, it is Saturday, which means it's my day. So we're gonna bring Tina in here. We're gonna try to knock out the rear cab mounts and then see if we can get the bed mounted. And if we can do that within enough time, we might move on to making some mounts to hold the front clip in place on the Super Duty core support today. So without further ado, let's get her in here, get at it. Alright guys, I just went into the old family center here, the old Farm and Ranch Superstore. That's where I like to get my bolts because it's closer than driving across town to Fastenal. But I got the ones for the flatbed, and I had to guess on the ones for the cab mounts. Just guessed, because I totally took one of the cab mount bolts out of the dent side cab for the rear cab mount, and I had it in my hand because I wanted to bring it here to size up, you know, and I don't remember what I did with it. So we guessed. Hopefully these work. Anyways, we're headed back to the shop now. Go get some work. So we got our bolts, and they ended up being too long to work with the 6/7 bushings, but I was able to use it to get a measurement from the side of the frame to the bolt, and it is right at an inch narrower than this mount. So we're just going to clean this mount up a little bit and get it to where I can mark on it with a marker, and then we're going to mark an inch and take an inch off of this mount and then weld that back to the frame. The 79 Ford bolt threads into the 6.0 body mount. It's a little bit loose. It's not the exact size, but the threads are the same. So I'm going to go ahead and sucker down with that bolt and see if we can make that work. We'll eventually get the correct bolt and the correct thread size for it. But just for mock-up purposes, we'll go ahead and use 79 bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up and get that marked out and chopped down to where it needs to be. We'll set the mount bushing on there and get it all connected to the cab. Get the side of the frame cleaned up as well. And then we'll go ahead and tack the mount on there and then move over to the other side. Let's go. All right, guys, we got our new modified body mount bracket, stock 6.0 bracket, cut off the side of the frame. We trimmed off, there's it is. We trimmed off that much of it, about 1 inch. And this is how she lines back up. Get the bolt, oh, we ain't gonna get the bolt set through because I'm using the 6.0 bushings, but there's how she lines up right there. So I'm gonna get the other bolt, get it up through the top, try to get it sucked down a little bit, and then we'll tack it in place. Let's go. All right, guys, this is how I ended up having to level the bed with the trim on the cab. So it's been quite a fiasco, but we finally got it. The measurement on the front of the door is the same thing as the measurement on the back of the cab between the LED light line and the lower piece of cab trim. So we're gonna weld our mounts there, but coming right along, let's go. Alrighty, guys, we got our body line set, got it leveled with the flatbed line with the laser, and our mounts are now burnt in, fully welded out on both sides with brand new bushings. So the cab is officially mounted, finally. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the hood off, and we'll get this front clip picked up and get this body line lined up. As you can see here, it's kind of nose diving. We'll get this body line lined up and pick the fenders up a little bit, and then I'm gonna measure out on the Super Duty core support and try to figure out something on mounting the fenders and grill shroud to the core support so that the hood isn't pulling the fenders down anymore. So let's see what we can do. All right, guys, so we got the hood off of here, and I did get I got the core support inside here. Started marking it out of where I think I might want to trim it down at, but I'm kind of torn. I don't really know that I want to cut the core support up and weld the core support onto the Super Duty. I'm thinking about just taking some angle iron and going from the Super Duty core support over to these bolt holes and just mounting these bolt holes to angle iron off of the Super Duty core support, and then make a couple more mounting tabs down there for like the bottom of the fender and the headlight bucket right there, because the headlight bucket gets really close to the Super Duty core support right there. So it's gonna take forever to trim that core support, to trim the sides of those down, be able to meet up with this Super Duty core support flush and flat and weld the entire thing. It's gonna take forever. So I'm really considering just using angle iron, like 2x2 1/8 inch angle, and welding it from here down this way and then coming this way with it. Just mounting it that way. But for now, I am gonna go ahead and crawl underneath the side of this thing, and we're gonna cut what's left of the Super Duty rocker off of the floorboard and get that out of the way, because I'm tired of looking at it. Sick of looking at it. It needs to go. So we got a little bit of time left. I'm gonna go ahead and chop that out of there, and then I'm gonna throw the hood back on here. I'm gonna ponder on this front clip a little bit longer. It's the next thing, the next order of business that we need to tackle. So I'm gonna kick some ideas around on mounting all this for a little while longer before I actually dive in and start doing something. Because like I said in the last video, I jumped ahead of myself and trimmed all this stuff off before I knew exactly what could work and what couldn't. So got ahead of myself here. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here, chop apart a core support whenever it's gonna be too much work and I'll end up doing something else anyways. So we're just gonna wait a little bit longer, think it out a little bit more, rationalize my thoughts a little bit, and then go from there. But we'll go ahead and chop these rockers off and then throw the hood back on here, get it back outside, because we got some customer work to do. Let's go. I'm not tired looking at these things. Oh yeah. Look at that. So much gooder. All right, guys. We got to do an oil cooler, H-pop gasket, valve cover gasket, and check out a few other things on this OBS 7.3 Power Stroke right here. So I have it plugged in. We're gonna see if we can get her fired up, get her pulled in the shop and get started. But I'm not sure how much talking I'm gonna be able to do because old Max is in there working, beating around on the trailer today. So we might just have a bunch of time lapses of working on this thing. So we'll see, let's go. See what we got here. Deader than a doornail. Gonna have to pull the old 6.7 up here and get her jump started. There she is right back there. 6.7. Oh, push it out into the parking lot and get the old cables out. Get her hooked up. Let's go. Get the old 6.7 pulled around here. Now this truck is actually interior swapped. I got this truck here as a tan leather Lariat with a flip up jump seat center console, and found a guy that was willing to trade me full black Lariat interior for all of the tan stuff. So the only original parts of interior on this truck is the top of the dash, the steering column, and steering wheel. The rest has all been swapped over. Actually, these little gray panels on the sides, and then this brown wood trim panel in the center, that's all from the original dash still. But all the black stuff, like around the steering column and steering gauge or gauge cluster and airbag and everything. Sorry about all the trash down there. She's a work truck, but yeah, this truck has actually been interior swapped with a black Lariat 2016. So that's pretty sweet. On my jumper cables back here. Oh, get them suckers laid out. Let's get his hood popped up in the air. All right, got our cables all hooked up. I'm gonna let her sit here and charge for a little bit, and then we'll give her a shot and see what she does. This thing might look like an old pooch of a farm truck, but I mean, honestly, it's got some pretty decent engine bay work been done. It's got an aftermarket, high degree, high pressure oil pump. It's intercooled, obviously. It's got injectors in it. It's got a turbo. It's got some things done to it, honestly. Like it's a decent little ripper. But he's just got some oil leaks that he's wanting fixed up and some other few little odds and ends issues. So we're gonna see what we can get done on it for him. Let's see what happens. All right, let's see what kind of juice we got going in this thing now. Wow, deader than a doornail. All right, let her charge up for a little bit. We're gonna try again. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, fire up. What in the heck? Has it lost that much oil pressure? There it is. There she is. Beautiful. This thing's quiet. This thing is pretty dang quiet, honestly. Let her sit here and run for a little bit. Oh, we ain't reading the RPM. What the heck? A little bit smoky out there. Wonder if we got a high idle on this switch here. We do. Look at that. Let it get warmed up a little bit. We got her pulled inside. We got to do an oil cooler and all that other stuff I already said. So Can't let it get warmed up too much, or it'd be too hot to work on it. So get it warmed up to run a little bit decent, and then we'll get it pushed inside or pulled inside. But see when we get in there. All right, guys. So I got to playing around with the old switcheroo here and giving her a little bit of revs. And as you can see here, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see her right there. We got a fuel leak up in there. She's a spitting fuel. So, all right, guys, we got us a small little window in between customer jobs to get Tina in and do some work on it. It is now like almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but I am getting this flatbed mounted up. We have all of the braces that go from frame rail to frame rail and bolt up to the factory Super Duty bolt holes in the frame rails. All of those are in. The nuts are welded inside the tubes, and we're ready to set the bed down, weld the bed to all the tubes, and get her mounted up solid. Let's get to it. So this is how we ended up mounting it. We got our 2x3 quarter wall square tubing and nuts welded on the insides of it with holes drilled and bolts going through the factory bolt holes on the frame. And as you can see, I have it stood up on the tall end, on the back and the front, and that piece is laid down. That's because the frame rise is up there a little bit, but it laid out perfectly. Like, I've already set the bed down once, and there's barely any gap to have to fill right there. It's just about the same distance between height on this pipe and height on that pipe. So we're gonna get her set down, weld all these out, get her mounted up solid. Let's go. All right, guys, we're all mounted up. Everything's all welded, wrapped. She's on there nice and solid. Time for me to wash up and go get some sleep. Get up tomorrow and get back at it. She's fully mounted under here. So these plates right there, I'm kind of curious whether or not I want to leave them there or not. They kind of take out the eyesore of, like, if I chop them out, there's going to be a gap in between the end of the frame rail and the hitch back here. So thinking about just leaving them there, and might as well. But all the bolts are tight. I also rigged up a filler neck up here. We got our Super Duty filler neck that comes out from underneath the bed over here, and I just stuck it up here in the gap and tack welded it to the front of the bed. Works like a charm. So we're gonna shut the shop down and go get some sleep. Get back at it tomorrow, doing an oil cooler and high pressure oil pump gasket and other stuff on that 7.3. So, dude, this thing is turning out killer. I am so happy with this truck. So freaking happy with it. All right, guys, so I got a wild hair under my butt, and we're gonna take Tina out on the road for a rip. So we're gonna see what she does. First test drive right here. First freaking test drive. Let's go. We're down in the drive here. Well, we got some traffic coming. fucking unit, dude. Drives like a dream. See a wide angle on here. This is awesome. This is cool. This is awesome, man. I love this thing. Yes! Alright guys, we got the heaters on full blast. It is getting down into the like 20s this weekend. Actually below 20s. Tomorrow it's supposed to get down to 7 degrees. So, we got some wood stacked up in the shop. I got this customer 7.3 in here, and I'm starting to take apart the engine bay to dig into that high pressure oil pump, and then we'll move on to the valve cover harness and everything else. But it is Friday. Today is supposed to be upload day, but I'm falling behind on a little bit of stuff, so you guys won't see any of this till tomorrow. So sorry about you. It is what it is, but we're getting at it, getting into it. Let's go. All right guys, we have managed to get the high pressure oil pump off, and I'm in the process of getting the new gasket on, get all the surfaces cleaned, get the pump back on, and get this thing out the door. But that is it for this video. We will catch you guys next week. Tune in on Friday or Saturday, one of the two. I know I said Fridays was upload days, but this week got away from me. We had to wait until today. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.